And the best thing about all of this is that I was also set free from shame, and I realized that the next day on Saturday, I was speaking to my parents on the phone, and they'd actually called me 2 weeks ago and said, you know, we're going to go to Iraq in February because I haven't been there in 24 years. And they said, you know, and they were booking my ticket to go with them, and they wanted to know what day I finished school. And I told them, and, you know, I put the phone down, but I was really upset, and I didn't know why I was upset, and I was upset because deep down, I didn't really want to go in February. I really do want to go to Iraq, but I don't want to go in February. I just didn't feel like it was the right time. But in the past, I've never been able to say no to my parents. I've never been able to, you know, express my opinion. They just said what was going to happen, and they just did it, and I just always just followed. And except the only exception was that I became a Christian. That was the only thing they didn't want me to do, but I did. And so, you know, I just didn't have a peace about it. And then this Saturday, when I spoke to my dad, I just said, you know, Dad, I don't know where the words came from, but they just came out of me. And I said, Dad, you know, I really do want to go to Iraq, but I don't want to go in February. So why don't you and Mom just book your tickets and just, you know, go without me, and I'll go later on in the year, or, you know, another time when I feel like I want to do that. And my dad was fine, and he passed the phone to my mom, and I said the same words to my mom. But my mom, as soon as I said, you know, Mom, I really want to go to Iraq, but not in February, she just came out with, yeah, you really want to go to Iraq. Yeah, it really shows, you know. And it was her way of kind of like making me feel guilty about it, and in the past I would have felt guilty and I would have just taken it and have said nothing back. But this time I was just like, I was really peaceful, and I could see that it wasn't her, it was just the shame in her. She was so afraid of what people were going to think if I don't go back with them, and I could recognize that. And I was really peaceful about it, and I said, you know what, Mom, I'm not going to feel guilty about it. You know, I really do want to go to Iraq, whether you believe me or not. So, you know, I'm not going to feel guilty about it. But I'm not going to go in February. And then she was like, oh yeah, as if you ever feel guilty, you never feel guilty, you don't have a conscience. And she even said, you killed us when you became a Christian. And I was like, so I just said, and again, I wouldn't have said something like that in the past, but this time I just said, you know, Mom, I didn't kill you when I became a Christian. I didn't hold a gun to your head, and you're still alive. I'm still talking to you now on the phone. And so, you know, she was like, you know, so I just told her that I'm not going, and we ended the conversation. But, you know, I walked away from that phone call feeling like, for the first time, just peaceful about having said no to my parents. I didn't feel guilty about it. I knew that I still loved them. I knew that, you know, I hadn't done anything wrong. And in the past, I would have been completely guilty about what had just happened, but I knew that I was just set free from shame. So, thank you, God.